Act 1. A fugitive in Mexico. After a brutal battle with Carnage, Eddie Brock finds himself lying low in a dusty small-town bar in Mexico. Nursing a drink, he tries to drown the memories of the recent bloodshed, feeling the weight of guilt and responsibility pressing down on him. His symbiote Venom shares his mind and body, making small comments and complaints, restless in their hiding. Suddenly, a news report blares from the bar's old TV, capturing Eddie's attention. The story is about the death of Detective Mulligan, who was presumed killed in the fight with Carnage. As Eddie's face flashes on the screen as the main suspect, it's clear that the authorities believe he's responsible. This turn of events puts Eddie on the edge. He realizes that he'll never be free unless he clears his name. Venom. This is ridiculous. We didn't do it. We should find whoever is responsible and consume them. Eddie. It's not that simple, buddy. If I want to be free, we need to go back and set things straight. In New York. Though Venom grumbles, he eventually agrees, driven by the urge to protect Eddie from any who threaten him. Eddie knows returning to New York won't be easy. Every law enforcement agency will be on his trail. Yet he's determined to face the challenge. Act 2. The Xenophage arrives. What Eddie doesn't realize is that he and Venom have attracted far more than just human attention. The presence of the deadly extraterrestrial creature known as the Xenophage is looming close by, having tracked Eddie to Earth. This creature was dispatched long ago by Null, the dark god who created all symbiotes, and it's now following a unique signal directly tied to Eddie and Venom. The Xenophage has one mission: to extract something called a codex that lies within Eddie, a symbiotic essence that could potentially unlock Null's prison. Because Eddie's life was once saved by Venom, he unknowingly carries this codex, making him a high-value target. Meanwhile, back in the United States, a shadowy government agency known as Imperium has detected the Xenophage's arrival and realizes that an alien threat has come to Earth. Based out of Area 51, Imperium is a clandestine operation focused on capturing and studying symbiotes. When Imperium's leader, Rex Strickland, receives orders to capture Venom, he begins to suspect that Venom knows more about the alien threat than they initially thought. Imperium mobilizes, preparing for their dangerous mission to intercept Venom. Act 3. The Unexpected Survivor. In a shocking twist, Imperium's surveillance teams make an incredible discovery. Detective Mulligan, previously presumed dead, is found alive. Mulligan's survival is inexplicably tied to a separate symbiote that somehow escaped Imperium's initial capture attempts. Strickland, seeing an opportunity, takes Mulligan into custody, hoping to question him and learn more about what's driving these symbiotes and how the Xenophage is involved. Act 4. The Desert Escape. On the move once again, Eddie and Venom attempt to board a plane bound for New York City, knowing this is their only shot to escape Mexico. Just as they're about to stow away on the aircraft, they're ambushed by the Xenophage, who has tracked them with relentless precision. A brutal fight ensues on the plane's wing, forcing Eddie and Venom to make a dangerous leap, falling off the plane and into the desolate desert below. As they recover from the fall, Venom explains the origins of the Xenophages to Eddie. He tells Eddie that the Xenophages were created long ago by Null to hunt down symbiotes who carry a codex. The codex is a powerful fragment of Null's essence that could be used to free him from his imprisonment if extracted. Because Venom once revived Eddie from near death, Eddie now carries a codex, marking him as prey for the Xenophage. Eddie realizes he's now in much deeper than he ever imagined. Act 5. Encounter with Strickland and escape to Las Vegas. After narrowly escaping the Xenophage, Eddie and Venom encounter Strickland's forces in the desert. Strickland's agents ambush them, and Eddie is forced to fend them off with Venom's help. In the heat of the moment, Eddie and Venom hitch a ride with a quirky hippie family who's traveling through the desert on their way to Las Vegas. They introduce themselves as free spirits on a spiritual journey. Meanwhile, at Imperium headquarters, Mulligan is interrogated by Strickland and his team. They learn of Null's true goal, the destruction of all codices on Earth. To achieve this, Null intends to retrieve them, and they can only be destroyed if the symbiote host is either separated from the codex or killed. Strickland, realizing that Eddie and Venom are the key to Null's plan, becomes more determined to capture them. Act 6. Ambush at the casino. Arriving in Las Vegas, Eddie and Venom take a breather, only to run into Mrs. Chen, the friendly shopkeeper they know from San Francisco. She's in town on a rare vacation and delighted to see Eddie, though she quickly realizes he's in trouble. While in the casino, Venom takes over and, in a humorous moment, begins dancing with Mrs. Chen, oblivious to Eddie's attempts to lay low. Suddenly, the xenophage reappears, interrupting their brief moment of peace and attacking them once again. Strickland's team closes in, capturing Venom and taking Eddie into custody. They're both transported to Area 51, where Eddie is interrogated by Imperium's researchers who suspect Venom knows the truth behind the Codex and Null's larger plans. Act 7. The Battle at Area 51. Back at Area 51, Venom breaks free, creating chaos in the lab as he releases the other symbiotes held captive by Imperium. These symbiotes quickly bond with new hosts, turning the base into a battleground as they team up to fight against the relentless xenophage, which is still after the Codex within Eddie. In the ensuing battle, Eddie and Strickland come face to face, each realizing the high stakes of their situation. In the chaos, they run into the hippie family again, who have snuck into Area 51 in search of aliens, now caught up in a fight they never expected. Act 8. The Final Sacrifice. During the fight, Null himself opens portals, sending additional xenophages to attack Venom and recover the Codex. Venom realizes there's only one way to stop the carnage. He must separate from Eddie, leading the xenophages into a containment chamber. In a final act of sacrifice, Venom merges with the xenophages, guiding them into an acid chamber. As Strickland, gravely wounded, detonates his grenades, Venom and the xenophages are destroyed, leaving Eddie safe but devastated. Act 9. Eddie's redemption. Eddie wakes up in a hospital, confused and grieving the loss of Venom. A federal agent informs him that, due to his bravery in the face of an alien threat, his criminal record has been erased. However, he's warned never to speak of the events at Area 51. Weeks later, Eddie arrives in New York. He stands at the harbor, watching the Statue of Liberty as he reflects on his journey with Venom. Though the weight of loss is heavy, Eddie knows that Venom's sacrifice protected humanity from a greater evil. Mid-credits scene. Null, now fully aware of Earth's location, stands in a void of darkness, declaring that the universe is now his to conquer. Post-credit scene. Back at the abandoned remains of Area 51, a panicked bartender runs for his life, unknowingly accompanied by a small cockroach fused with a fragment of the Venom symbiote.